Hello students and welcome to this session on NMAT test taking strategy. I hope the mood is upbeat and after a very long time, couple of years, there were happy faces after CAT. So this time when I came out to the CAT center, I could see people cheerful, hopeful, happy, and usually I am Calcutta, difficult maths, difficult LRDI, all that was put to rest. So I'm sure each one of you is breathing easy, and now only certain part of the battle is over. The next big battle comes in the form of the non-CAT exams, and so we'll have this series of strategy sessions with NMAT being today, SNAP being tomorrow, and I will do the ZAT strategy just after your SNAP is over. Okay. So some of you might have already taken your NMAT, but most of you, I believe, are taking it somewhere in that zone of 6th to 12th of December. Okay. So let us start with this session. And this is the basic structure of the paper, which I'm sure a few mocks you would have already taken from your online account. If not, do it immediately, because please understand, content-wise, whether it is CAT, SNAP, NMAT or ZAT, a significant portion of it will remain similar. So I think mocks becomes the key here, because mocks will tell you the essential time practice, time management, how exactly is it different from the other exam. Okay. So here one thing you must understand, that the time limits are not same. So you have a 52 minutes for quant, you have a 40-minute for reasoning, and you have a 28-minute for English. Unlike CAT, where we got the similar time, questions are equal though, 36 in each, 108 questions. So the marking is very simple. So you see 36 into 3 is 108. So 12 is the mark given to anybody without any attempt. So a range of score in any section here is 12 to 120. So basically, overall in NMAT, 36 is a freebie or a grace given to every student. So if I'm looking at a score of, let's say, a 230 plus overall, from there I can subtract 36. So basically I need roughly a score of 194 plus. So if it's a 3-mark question without any negative marking, I am roughly looking at 65 right questions. So your aim basically here is to at least get 65 questions correct out of 108. But that will just see you through the cutoff mark. But on the safer side, because in NMAT, the sectionals are also very stringent. I will share with you the cutoffs in the next slide. You must, on the safer side, look at close to 70 correct attempts. Okay. But yes, 65 also will see you in terms of the cutoffs. Remember, there's no negative marking, and the most importantly, you can't skip any question here. Whatever question comes on the screen, you have to answer it. And that is sometimes very unnerving, because it's very easy to say that, okay, whatever option randomly I'm marking and moving ahead, but doesn't happen so simply. Because whenever we get a question, even if I don't know how to do it, but I have to mark it, I will spend that 15, 20 seconds, half a minute to see that whatever the best option I can mark. So that is why you have to be slightly guarded in NMAT. So certain questions which I have no clue of, I would strongly recommend not to try to, put on your guessing caps there and just mark it anything and move ahead. Because out of 108 questions, there will be at least 15 to 20 questions which will be like this. For example, in reasoning, there could be an arrangement question or an input-output question which you consciously have to leave because of time pressure. So everywhere, if you start thinking and evaluating your possibility of attempt, then there will be a problem. Okay. Chat, you need to see. So this was the cutoff last year. 234 for the top college in Bombay. Okay. Last year, 232 marginally went up. This year, I am told, or we have also experienced, that the NMAT overall is slightly on the tougher side than last year. So my hunch will be 230 plus is a safe score. But having said that, if you look at the sectionals itself, they add up to roughly 220, 218. So there's not much of scope there. Okay. So of course you need to, for example, today I was meeting somebody who said I got a 93 in QA. Somebody talked about an 86 in language. So you will have to ensure that that comes through. See, so basically we are looking at this kind of an cutoff sectionally, but in one section you will have to score approximately 90 or late 80s to get that 230 mark crossed. Don't assume that you will get kind of 75, 80 in each. Okay, not much of scope here for adjustments because sectional cutoffs are very stringent, and I know many people from last year or last year got the overall cutoff but could not meet one sectional cutoff, and generally they miss out either on QS or in LR. So one has to be slightly careful there, especially in these two sections. Okay, last year you see the language cutoff significantly went up compared to the other two, but that has usually been the case last year also, because language here with a lot of grammar questions coming in becomes a little extra scoring. Now there are some NMAT colleges also under, and not non-NMIMS, sorry, under NMAT. I will just share with you some of those cutoffs. So I'm sure in the group also we have posted that, but just to share with you some of the cutoffs, like XIMB HR program last year had a cutoff of 234 for engineers and 232 for non-engineers. So it's almost at par with the NM Bombay cutoff, which is very, very surprising. And then we had TAPME, which had an overall cutoff of 225, similar to the business analytics program of the Bombay campus. We had KJ Somaiya very close to 224. But remember, KJ and NM are the two colleges which only accept the first NMAT attempt. So the repeat attempt, of course, is not valid for NMIMS and KJ Somaiya. Then we had the slightly lower colleges like IFMR Chennai, which is 222. Then absolutely lower down the line, SDA Bakoni, Shiv Nadar, but all of them are above 200. So any score below 200 will not give you any good college in NMAT. Okay, even the last college, the Hyderabad or the Indore campus of NMIMS also had a cutoff of 206. So basically it has to be in excess of 210 minimum, and of course higher the merrier. So any question with respect to cutoffs, guys? I have few questions. Let me just quickly go through them. One are their calculators available in NMAT. There are no on-screen calculators available in NMAT, so be rest assured about that. CL mocks mein hai, to there's an error there. It shouldn't be there. I don't think so. NMAT allows. No. NMAT is not an adaptive test, though it's similar to looking like an adaptive test, but ऐसा कुछ नहीं that if you answer something wrong, your next question becomes different or higher or lower. Not like the GMAT. So that's absolutely clear. एक बार calculator का मैं clear हो जाता हूँ. I don't think so they allow, but just once get that also in place, because you're saying that CL allows calculators. So let me just quickly get that from my team.
हम तो डाइनिंग पे बैठे हैं literally.
Anybody who taken NMAT in this group, calculators? I am frozen. My video is frozen. One moment, I think there's some video issue. Sure on that. I'll get back to you in the group. I'll write it to you tomorrow. I am I doubt they are allowed. I think the CL interface is common for CAT and NMAT. That's why they have done that. So we will restart the session once more. I think there's some issue with the video. So just hold on, guys. Okay. मैंने Zoom में ऑफ करना पड़ेगा क्यों? लैपटॉप इशू है क्या? ऑन ही नहीं हो रहा वीडियो. So can you hear me now? I'm sorry for this bug. Chat. Yeah. So we'll come back. So I had two questions my way. One was about the calculators. I don't think calculators are allowed. Though I will double check it once and let you know in the group tomorrow. And another question was about this grace marks of CL. Now I don't think that we really take that into consideration of 36 marks. So that could be a slight thing, but that also I will confirm it once more and let you know tomorrow. So both the information about the grace of 36 marks in NMAT and the calculator funda, just give me time till morning tomorrow. I will get back to you on that. Okay. So I'll just get back to you on that. So moving forward, so is the cutoff part clear, guys? No. One below 200, no college will call you. Might be some lower ICFI colleges you might get at below 200. CL mocks are more than sufficient. Not only the CL mocks, even the CL sectional tests are very critical. And the NMAT official guide is the must solve for NMAT. XSRI, you cannot get through XSRI by NMAT. I'm surprised how you're asking that. You cannot, XSRI only accepts that, nothing else. No NMAT, not even CAT. Okay, so moving further, so the strategy part now, what kind of a strategy do I need to take in terms of which section? Because here you can decide which section we want to go first, which section we want to go second, and which section we want to go third. Okay, so I have just preferred the CAT order. So we have been used to starting with English, moving to LRDI, then going to maths. I have just kind of maintained that same order here. Of course, you are slightly free to choose your own order the way you want it to be. Okay, but I think this is a safe order to take in terms of the concentration skills required, in terms of our comfort, in terms of our practice, what we have done till now. I think that this is good enough. Yes, XIMB you were asking. Yes, XIMB HR program can be applied through NMAT, but the cutoffs are very, very stringent. I think CL NMAT mocks are slightly easier than the actual NMAT. I would really go ahead and stick my neck out and say the actual NMATs are slightly tougher than the CL NMAT mocks. Though they are very representative in terms of the type of questions asked, very, very representative, almost similar, but the level of difficulty of the actual NMAT is slightly higher. Okay. So this is the number of attempts I'm talking of. 70 correct answers is what I told you earlier. 65 में भी कॉल आ सकता है, लेकिन 70 को रखने के लिए मुझे कम से कम 20% अगर रॉन्ग मानता हूं तो I need to do 85 to 90 attempts genuinely out of 108, which is what I said. 20 questions, at least 20 questions you will have to let go of without solving. And that is where the difficult part lies. And most of these 20, believe me, will lie in either QA or reasoning. Because in English, most of us will answer a very higher number of questions. The left questions are more in the other two. No. There is no such linkage in NMAT that depending on how you are answering your initial questions, the later questions will change. There are fixed pattern of questions. The order keeps changing randomly. There is nothing like it. So please do not be bothered about that at all. Okay. English attempts must be higher. In terms of level of difficulty, this is where the scoring punch lies. You really need to score very well in English here. This is where the scoring punch lies, and grammar, vocab, RCs are easy. There were 3 RCs this time instead of 2, but simple. So this is where you really need to push the escalator, push the pedal in English here. LR and QS, depending on which you are stronger, one has to be done very well and the other has to be done bare minimum to achieve the cutoff. Cutoff अगर हम कुछ भी मान के चलें, 12 आपको मिल रहा है. If I take a 75, 76 cutoff, 70, 72 cutoff in LR and QS, अगर हम 12 उसमें से हटा देते हैं तो 60, which means I need to get 20 correct answers minimum to get the sectional cutoff from NM Bombay. ये ध्यान में रखना है आपको. That's why अभी यहाँ पे this is a tough one because अभी यहाँ मुझे 20 write करना ही है. So obviously this is slightly lower. I think I will push this up to I mean you need to really attempt at least 22 to 24 questions here because otherwise 20 right आना थोड़ा मुश्किल होगा इसमें. So cutoff could be slightly a problem if you just go by 21 attempts because इसमें 2-3 mistake तो आप मान के चलो हो गई. So therefore roughly आपको 24 attempts कम से कम करना पड़ेगा in any of the sections to at least get 20 correct. This applies more in the other 2 sections, and in language I think the cutoffs are higher, so there at least 26. So I think minimum attempts have to be 26, 24 and 24, which is roughly 74. अभी जो extra 15 और attempt आएगा वो कहाँ आएगा? That depends on your level of comfort wherever you are with. Okay, are you with me on this, guys? More questions? Okay, I think I've answered that question. Any thoughts on this, please? In terms of strategy, in terms of this, but you have to decide on the order right at the beginning, guys. So it's not that you have first start with English and then you can decide मैं पहले maths करूंगा कि पहले reasoning करूंगा. Right up front आपको order पहले बताना पड़ता है इसमें. So that strategy or that call has to be taken before you start the exam. Okay. So I think this is a fair call to take. The other way of looking at it could be LR and LS can be interchanged if you want that, English to be sandwiched between the two reasoning sections. But remember, LR also has half of English. So it is not that LR is that LRDI which we typically talk about in CAT. Okay. So more questions are there. Orders, I just showed that preferable order. I will come to that. NMAT study for the last 10 days. 245 is a very good score. Even if you're getting 245 in the CL mocks, you should fancy your chances, but don't become overconfident. You need to come out of the CAT mindset. You see, if 80 seconds per question की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं और CAT में हम लोग यही almost 2.5 minutes per question की बात करते हैं. Even that is slightly, CAT actually 40 attempt is good. So we can actually talk about 3 minutes per question in CAT. Okay. And here we are talking of 80 seconds per question. So it's a clear departure from the kind of time we are used to spending per question in CAT. SNAP may all the more it will be felt. Okay. NMAT, remember, is not as easy as SNAP. So ये मत समझ के चलिए कि NMAT बहुत easy paper है. NMAT is not an easy paper at all. It's a standard paper. Might be easier than CAT, but कोई भी angle से easy नहीं है. Okay, it's a reasonably challenging paper and a time pressure paper. You really have to move fast here. Cannot get stuck to any question. The moment you read a question you're not sure of, I don't think in NMAT really have the time to think मैं इसको कैसे करूं. छोड़ दीजिए उसको. Randomly mark, there's no negative marking. In fact, you will have to take the hard call sometimes in LR. In fact, I remember when I took the NMAT last year, I had to consciously leave an input-output set of 4 questions because it's such a time-consuming input-output, are very, very time-consuming. So if you're good in verbal LR, that is a statement, assumption, conclusion, assertion, then I think you need to take that hard call and leave out one input-output set or one arrangement set, which though is solvable, but उसको करने में आपको करीब नहीं 7-8 मिनट लग जाएंगे 4 क्वेश्चन करने में. But yes, if your verbal LR is weak and your accuracy levels are poor there, then of course you need to push up in that verbal LR time and spend that extra time in that analytical LR. Okay, speed intensive. Time management is very, very, very critical here. Unlike what we ever felt in CAT. CAT में टाइम मैनेजमेंट का कोई इशू ही नहीं था. आराम से करी, जो आता है वो करी, जो नहीं आता है वो छोड़ दीजिए. यहाँ पे आता है वो भी छोड़ना पड़ेगा. That is the critical part in NMAT. तो NMAT में ऐसे क्वेश्चन नहीं आएंगे जो नहीं होंगे, बट टाइम कंज्यूमिंग वाले आते हैं. तो वो हार्ड कॉल लेना कि I need to skip this because of the time constraint, and that's the tough call because you don't even know what the next question is going to come. But that call has to be taken because I'm telling you, NMAT you are walking on a very thin, tight rope. ज़्यादा scope नहीं है, to play around. Okay, so go fast. I'm again repeating, go fast. Okay, आराम से मैनेज हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ खास बात नहीं है, बट बस ये समझने का है कि मैं कोई भी क्वेश्चन में 2 मिनट ज्यादा लगा नहीं सकता हूं. I need to really walk fast. 2 minutes is also sometimes a luxury. DI, I'll come to that. How to improve speed? देखिए, how to improve speed is the only one golden rule of improving speed is not trying to solve a kind of question which you don't know how to do it. Speed breakers को avoid करना है. और 108 में मैं 20 स्पीड ब्रेकर को अवॉइड कर सकता हूं. तो आई हैव सिग्निफिकेंट लीवे इन लीविंग आउट 20% ऑफ द पेपर. दैट इटसेल्फ शुड बी इनफ कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्टर फॉर यू कि बॉस अगर मैं 2-4-5 क्वेश्चन ऑन द वे छोड़ भी रहा हूं तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. मान के चलिए एनमैट में 2-4 मैथ्स क्वेश्चन के अलावा एक भी ऐसा क्वेश्चन नहीं आएगा जो पढ़ के आपको लगेगा मुझसे नहीं होगा. ये मेरे लिए एकदम बाउंसर है. ऐसा बहुत रेयर आएगा, बट वही है, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग वाला आएगा, उसको आपको छोड़ते चलना है, तभी आपका स्पीड बेटर होगा एनमैट। सेक्शन स्पेसिफिक अगर चलते हैं, लास्ट ईयर देयर वर ओनली 2 RCs, बट दिस ईयर देयर आर 3 RCs एंड वेरी इजी, वेरी वेरी स्कोरिंग। इनफैक्ट ये आपको 12 में कम से कम 10 राइट करना ही पड़ेगा, बिकॉज देखिए ग्रामर इज अ ट्रिकी वन। तो ये जो 10 क्वेश्चन स्पॉट द एरर के 6 और प्रेपोजिशंस के 4 आते हैं, ये थोड़े से डाइसी हैं, मतलब डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर कंफर्ट विद ग्रामर, रिमेंबर देयर इज वन ऑप्शन विद नो एरर आल्सो। सो आई थिंक यहां पे आउट ऑफ 10 getting 6 right, okay, is okay. This is where you need to get 10 right. This is your bench, and ये सबसे easy है। Parajumble with options, you know, CAT में हम लोग of course this year they didn't come, but we are used to with options here. So इसमें आपको 5 right करना ही करना है। And vocab में, because it is contextual vocabulary, this is more of scoring than analogy. Analogy में meanings will be tested, but elimination से आंसर हो सकता है। तो यहां पे भी मैं करीब करीब 5 राइट करूंगा। तो इस सेक्शन में आई थिंक 26 क्वेश्चंस को करेक्ट करना इज अ एब्सोल्यूट पॉसिबिलिटी, अगर आप थोड़ा सा भी आपका इंग्लिश अच्छा है। तो इस सेक्शन में मुझे लगता है कि स्कोरिंग 80 प्लस including the 12 grace is a distinct possibility, and this is a really a kind of a make break section here. यहाँ पे आपको outscore करना ही पड़ेगा, just crossing the bare minimum in terms of sectionals here might not help, because यहाँ पे उतना time pressure नहीं है। Time pressure relatively will be felt more in the other 2 sections, okay? बट यस 28 मिनट है, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप आराम से करेंगे 36 क्वेश्चन 28 मिनट। सी दीज 18 क्वेश्चंस आर क्वाइट क्विक, दे आर नॉट दैट टाइम कंज्यूमिंग। 8 तो बहुत ही फास्ट हो जाएंगे। सो द टाइम टेकन जो भी होगा पहला 2 में होगा, आरसी में और पीजीएस में, बट सिंस दे आर डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस, इजी, नॉट मच ऑफ इन्फ्रेंस इन्वॉल्व्ड, ऑप्शंस आर देयर इन पैराजंबल्स, ऑफ कोर्स इट बिकम्स मच सिंपलर। Sir, in CAT I need at least 8 to 10 minutes for 1 RC. Here I think minimum you need to give not more than 4 to 5 minutes per RC here. तो हो सकता है कि एक RC अगर आप थोड़े स्लो हैं, तो अगर suppose RC is not your strength, might be you can look at 2 RCs. So in that case this will come down to let's say 6 questions, 6 to 7 questions. बट अगर ये 6-7 आएगा तो कहीं पे और आपको बढ़ाना है, माइट बी हियर 6 से आपको 8 करना है इसको, दैट एडजस्टमेंट हैज टू बी डन, बट यू कैन नॉट टिपिकली स्पेंड मोर देन 5 to 6 minutes per RC here. Yeah, so that's what I said. Ideally 5 मिनट, so 15 मिनट में अगर मैं 3 RC कर लेता हूं, so let's put some timing to this. Let's say 15 minutes to RCs, 5 पैराजंबल में I'll put around 7 to 8, let's say 7 minutes with options here, remember. This will not be more than 5 minutes. And this will at least take 10 minutes. So कितना हो गया? Have we crossed? Around 37. Oh no. Around 37. So I have 28 only. So of course I am crossing. So of course here then there is some adjustment. ये इसमें आप कुछ कम नहीं कर पाएंगे। अभी आपके 12 मिनट यहाँ चला गया, 16 मिनट और बच रहा है। तो अभी 16 मिनट में इन दैट केस आई वुड सजेस्ट, अभी इसमें आपको कॉल देना पड़ेगा। ग्रामर अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग है तो इसमें एक्चुअली आई थिंक आई मेड अ मिस्टेक हियर, इट शुड नॉट बी मोर देन 6 मिनट्स टिपिकली। तो 7, 5, 6 दैट्स 18 गॉन, आई एम लेफ्ट विद अनदर 10। सो यहाँ पे अगर मैं इसको 10 करता हूं तो आई कैन अटेंड 2 RCs इन दैट केस। अभी चॉइस है बिटवीन आरसी एंड ग्रामर। तो अगर आपका थोड़ा ग्रामर हिला हुआ है देन माइट बी 3 RCs एंड रिड्यूस द spot the error, increase more of prepositions here. Prepositions are faster than spot the error. तो थोड़ा सा आप एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं उसको। क्या does that make sense guys? Are you okay with that in terms of timing? एक्चुअली vocab में 5 मिनट लगेगा नहीं, बस वो मिनिमम देने के लिए मैंने 5 लिखा है। we actually bring it down to 3-4 minutes also. Yeah, so that's why I said maybe 2 out of 3 RCs. So अगर 2 out of 3 करते हैं तो 8 क्वेश्चन आपने अटेम्प्ट किया है, उसमें से 6 से 7 राइट बोल रहा हूं. इसको आप 10 मत लीजिए. Let's take 6 to 7 here. Let's take around 5 here and 5 here and around 8 here if I take. Then I am roughly sitting at a 24-25 right questions, which is a good score of 85 plus. 26 is slightly higher order. I think we will go with roughly 23 correct questions, 22 to 23 correct answers. So is English okay in terms of अभी करना क्या है English में? Nothing much. All the NMAT mocks, all the NMAT section tests and the official guide. That is the bare minimum you need to do. और उससे ज्यादा आपको टाइम मिलेगा भी नहीं करने का. प्योर वोकैबुलरी क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते हैं, खाली एनालॉजी में आप बोल सकते हैं, वो भी गिवन दैट देयर आर पेयर्स गिवन एंड लॉट ऑफ एलिमिनेशन इज पॉसिबल देयर. मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट सेक्शन. Okay, just to recap here. Yeah, so I have given here all RC and PJ, but this you might want to leave one RC here, -1. So this is where I am a little uncomfortable. My personal comfortable with these questions are not very high. So I would rather, spend very less time on the grammar question. बार-बार पढ़ के सोचने में और confusion बढ़ता है. Take a first call on grammar and attempt it. And overspending time on grammar से अच्छा है एक RC extra करना या फिर एटलीस्ट पैरा जंबल्स को कंप्लीट करना. I mean, I would not want to spend extra time on the grammar and the any which way is dicey. So why better to spend more time on safer zones? So the safer zones here is the RC and PJs. And this I think ये आपको दोनों FIBs इसमें बहुत इजी होते हैं. I have already spoken about this. I think this is where you need to save time. These 3 types of questions. Okay. Moving to the reasoning now. So in reasoning, if you see, look at the verbal part, around half the paper is that. 36 में से around 18, 19. And this is where we have not done this in CAT. ये CAT में नहीं किए हम लोग. ये नया है आपके लिए. But we have had sessions on this. So go through the class sheets very importantly for this. Remember, we did a few NMAT classes before CAT. And we are doing a couple of more after CAT. So please ensure that you go through all the class sheets, the solutions for them. And as I said, the official guide here will be immensely helpful in getting extra practice for these type of questions. And again, I am saying that do not overread. एक चीज को 3 बार पढ़ने से बेटर समझ में नहीं आएगा, बिकॉज उतना समय आपके पास नहीं रहेगा. This is a breakup essentially. Then for the analytical part, now this is where the problem lies. These are the very time consuming ones. Even so अभी देखिए, between arrangement and input output you will roughly get 3 caselets. इसमें आपको एक छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा. एक आपको छोड़ना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो आपका ये होगा नहीं. You cannot solve all 3. It will be, you will really kind of mess it up in terms of overall time management. So leave out one, either it's one input output or the arrangement. बाकी the simple question, this is very easy. ये भी छोड़ना चाहिए, नहीं करना चाहिए. This is very simple. These are very easy questions. Venn diagram बहुत simple वाला आता है. Don't worry. ये आपको 5-6 क्वेश्चन यहां आराम से 5 राइट हो जाएगा. एंड यहां पे यू नीड टू गेट एटलीस्ट 7 करेक्ट. सो और ओवरऑल 12 करेक्ट हियर, एंड हियर इट डिपेंड्स ऑन योर स्ट्रेंथ, बट आई एम अज्यूमिंग अराउंड 10 करेक्ट हियर. सो 22 करेक्ट की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, बट ऑन द सेफर साइड 22 का मतलब यू आर 78 का स्कोर. सो एक दो कम भी इसमें हो सकता है, बट मोर और लेस दिस इज व्हाट वी आर लुकिंग एट. बट आई एम रिपीटिंग, डू नॉट ओवर स्पेंड टाइम इन दिस टू, बिकॉज जब बल्क क्वेश्चन दिखता है टेम्पटेशन होता है उसको सॉल्व करने का, Please don't fall for that temptation in NMAT. You will have to leave one case out of these three. You cannot solve all the caselets. ये तीन करने के चक्कर में बाकी छूट जाएगा. It's not worth it. Okay, some more questions here. So you're saying I'm good at input output. I leave two arrangements. Now that's okay. No problem with that. But what I'm saying, दो इनपुट और दो अरेंजमेंट वेरी रेयरली आता है. ये तो एक इनपुट दो अरेंजमेंट आएगा या एक अरेंजमेंट दो इनपुट आएगा. उसमें से मैं बोलो तीन में दो करिएगा, एक छोड़िएगा. Whichever one you're comfortable with. Very different from CAT. This is where I think the maximum practice which you need is in this section. Max practice चाहिए इसमें. आप खाली मॉक से ये नहीं होगा. You will have to solve the official guide. You will have to solve all the NMAT reasoning section test. अगर आप मैथ्स का टेस्ट नहीं भी ले चलेगा सेक्शन वाले, लेकिन ये आपको लेना ही पड़ेगा. यहां पे टाइम का इमेंस प्रेशर होगा. 36 मिनट्स में मतलब गॉड फॉरबिड यू विल हैव टू attempt at least 24 questions. नहीं तो आपका तो 20 राइट होगा नहीं. अभी 24 करेक्ट करना है, 24 अटेम्प्ट जेन्युइनली करना है गाइस. थोड़ा टाइम का प्रेशर है. जिनका वर्बल रीजनिंग स्ट्रांग है उनको उतना प्रेशर यहां फील नहीं होगा, बट जिनका वर्बल रीजनिंग उतना स्ट्रांग नहीं है उनको थोड़ा प्रेशर ज्यादा फील होगा. या previous slide once more. Okay, this is a slide talking of sectional test. पहला आ रहा है not go to sectional test link non cat. वहां पे आपको NMAT के मिलेंगे. I'll show you how many of them are there. There are 12, I think, 3 or 4 of each most probably. Moving to the QA, सबसे बड़ा इसमें इशू ये वाला है. Now this is which one area where most of us have not studied in CAT. Because one or two questions come from here, most of us tend to leave it. Complicated chapters in school, we have never liked it. So please practice. ये एकदम easy वाले आते हैं, very easy. In fact, पूरा अगर आप quant देखें, the level of quant in NMAT will be significantly easier than the level of quant in wherever CAT or mocks you have solved. Sir, there's nothing sufficient. You're saying NMAT mocks and NMAT sectionals and official guide, are they sufficient? Given the time, you can't do more than this. And there is not enough good source also to solve from. Now here I would suggest, ये थोड़ा सा इसमें, I would personally not solve the entire DI. I would just solve one might be and move the rest in maths. ये भी एकदम क्वेश्चन मार्क है. बहुत ज्यादा टाइम खाता है. अगर पर्म कॉम वीक है तो आपको इसके ऊपर फॉल बैक करना पड़ेगा DI/DS पे. अगर पर्म कॉम ठीक है, then I would rather attempt questions from the first 4 traditional maths areas. Geometry essentially almost missing in NMAT, so that's a good news for many of us. There is no other source to practice from. There is absolutely no, because NMAT previous papers are not available. कोई और सोर्स नहीं है, और इतना सोर्स is sufficient. आपको इससे भी जरूरत पड़ेगी नहीं. So ये bulk scoring will happen from here, and ये एकदम easy है. CAT का करने के बाद ये आपको एकदम type of cakewalk kind of लगेगा. तो मेरा अगर आप पूछे तो out of 24 questions coming in this zone, I would rather get at least 15 correct from here. And यहाँ पे I will want to get the 5 or 6 correct here. In fact, अगर आप मेरे से पूछे तो I would rather get only 4 correct here and 17 correct here. 20 करेक्ट करना है आपको. आप ये मान के चलिए, नहीं तो 72 का स्कोर तो मिनिमम चाहिए. ओके, अभी अगर मेरा पर्म कॉम स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं है, आई एम वेरी गुड इन कैलकुलेशन, देन आई वुड से ओके, आई विल डू देन बोथ DI केसेस. DS एकदम मतलब अवॉइडेबल है, बिकॉज इट टेक्स डबल द अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम पर क्वेश्चन. So the spin-off is between 4 extra questions of DI or 4 extra questions of PermCom. Okay, but I'm telling you the questions of PermCom are fairly simple. The level 2 types, जो हमारे book में level 2 है ना, the intermediate topic tests, the medium ones, at that level I think we can be good enough. So maths में I don't think really we need any extra practice for the first 3. Number system, again somebody was saying that हम तो CAT में number system उतना critical था नहीं, but I believe remainders, factorials, last digit, cyclicity सब हम लोग किए हुए हैं, तो इसमें बहुत ज्यादा मुझे लगता है आपको मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. I would just want to spend time on PermCom, and because that's one thing which I really feel that most of you have neglected in CAT. CL official guide could be easier side, but pertinent है और बहुत ज्यादा relevant है, तो कम से कम वो habit of practice will come from that. Obviously our mocks are tougher than the official guide, and official guide can never be the final word, but when it comes to the relevant questions to be practiced from, I think official guide gives you a very, very clear and a correct picture. तो यहाँ पे भी ना स्पीड जो कि कैट में उतना क्रिटिकल नहीं था, यहाँ थोड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो यहाँ पे कैट में क्या है, क्वेश्चन आता है 1 मिनट में आता है, 1 मिनट में करो, 3 मिनट में आता है, 3 मिनट में करो, कोई जल्दी नहीं रहती है जनरली. इस बार थोड़ा जल्दी था बिकॉज द पेपर वॉज ईजियर. द सेम अर्जेंसी विल बी फेल्ट इन एनमैट. ईजियर पेपर है रिलेटिव टू कैट, थोड़ा फास्ट मूवमेंट करना है. सो यहाँ पे अगेन, do not get stuck or waste time on difficult or unfamiliar questions. You might be very good in algebra, but a difficult question might pop. Just because NMAT, it doesn't mean that every question has to be solvable. I mean, they will also surprise you with 1 or 2 difficult ones coming your way, some bouncers. So you duck them rather than take it on a shin. Okay. So the last point, 4 to 5 questions have to be left voluntarily, mainly DS. I would, if my maths is good, I would back myself and I leave 1 DI group also. Maths weak hai, then I will of course do the entire DI. What to start? NMAT, mocks or official guide? There is no choice between or. दोनों करना है. I think official guide से start करना better है, slightly easier and more conceptual based. Yeah. So somebody was saying what is the 10-day strategy for NMAT? Boss, अभी 10-day strategy simple है. आपको every alternate day एक mock लेना है. अभी कितने mock आपके बचे हुए उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है. I am assuming 5 mock तो बचे हुए होंगे ही. तो at least 5 mocks ये सारे लेने हैं. All the class sheets to be revisited. Preposition based अगर आपके पास कोई टॉपिक टेस्ट बचा हुआ है कैट में तो उसको देख सकते हैं. तो ग्रामर बेस्ड टॉपिक टेस्ट कुछ लिया जा सकता है. आई वुड नॉट रियली, ये वाला थोड़ा मैं अवॉइड करूंगा बिकॉज देयर इज सो मेनी ऑफ देम, तो अवॉइड दिस. बट ग्रामर बेस्ड टॉपिक टेस्ट थोड़ा सा एक बार, माइट बी जस्ट 5 ऑफ देम जस्ट टू गिव दैट ग्रामर फील टू. बिकॉज कैट में हम लोग थोड़ा आउट ऑफ टच रहे हैं ग्रामर से. ओके. ऑफिशियल गाइड, आई विल से दैट इसमें मैथ्स वाला सेक्शन का ऑफिशियल गाइड उतना क्रिटिकल नहीं है. ओके. द रीजनिंग पार्ट ऑफ ऑफिशियल गाइड इज द मोस्ट क्रिटिकल, एंड लैंग्वेज स्किल्स भी थोड़ा देखा जा सकता है. बट द थर्ड सेक्शन, द मैथ्स वाला पार्ट, आई थिंक यू कैन कंप्लीटली अवॉइड. उसमें से ऑफिशियल गाइड का सॉल्व करने से कोई बहुत ज्यादा बेनिफिट नहीं होगा एक्सेप्ट पर्मकॉम. पर्मकॉम आपको अगर एक्स्ट्रा प्रैक्टिस करना है तो ऑफिशियल गाइड से सॉल्व किया जा सकता है, बट अदरवाइज नो. Okay. From where to get official guide? From the CL centers, we were having the sets with us, so you can get in touch with the center, they can help you. Or Amazon may available hai. 1 or 2 days, if you're a Prime member, it will come to you. We have been shouting through the roof for this official guide for 4 months back, so you should have got it by now. But since you still, if you haven't got it, get in touch with your CL center, they will help you. So any more questions, guys? So get to it. Forget cat. अच्छा खराब क्या हुआ है नहीं हुआ है. Though I know the score sheet will come before the NMAT, so that could be a spoiler also for some of us. But might we don't even look at it before our snap is over. So just get going with the NMAT prep. Snap and NMAT prep essentially go hand in hand. Tomorrow I will be having a similar session on Snap, so we'll discuss that, but you will see that a lot of it is an overlapping scenario. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि मैं अगर NMAT का अभी पढ़ूंगा तो Snap का कब पढ़ूंगा. Yes, mocks आपको अलग से लेने पड़ेंगे. तो अगर आपका NMAT और Snap overlapping है in terms of the dates, you also need to start with the Snap mocks now. So it actually might be that the time कम है. So might be one snap and one NMAT mock can be taken alternate days like that. आज snap, कल NMAT, फिर परसों snap, फिर NMAT. उस तरह से don't take 2 mocks on a single day. Or anyway, snap mocks are much shorter in length, so doesn't have so much of pressure. Yes, the DI is very, very calculation intensive. Last year official guide will be good enough. Absolutely, don't worry. Just prepare from that. You don't have to buy the latest one. NMAT official mock is easier than the current NMAT coming this year. पर उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. उससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? Question similar है. In the sense that types. So just don't worry about that. थोड़ा सा NMAT अगर टफ आएगा तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? 2 क्वेश्चन का आपको फर्क पड़ेगा. Might be we will lose 6 extra marks, but then the cutoffs also will adjust themselves. So this time when CAT was easy, last time 99 percentile, we were talking of 75, 76. This time we're talking of 90. Automatically the 5 questions have gone up. So that will self adjustment होगा. आपको कुछ चिंता नहीं करनी है उसकी. Yeah, MyCAT का we will try a session. देखो MyCAT का the aptitude part उसके लिए we don't need any session, but the descriptive part of MyCAT yes. So we were planning something for that. We will let you know. You have an NMAT tomorrow. So just sleep well, take a chill pill, and go and crack the test. Don't think of any changes at this last moment. I'm sure you already have your plan of order of sections and everything in place. Just stick to that. I don't think I will really want to disturb any feathers in the last moment. How many are there? How many are there? Any more questions, guys? Okay. Please feel free to ask me. Anything else you want to know from me? There are a lot of people who crack NMAT very easily, so don't get worked up, don't get tensed. If you just put in the same number of 5-6 hours per day as you were putting it pre-CAT, things will be smooth. Okay? The transition from a concept-heavy test to a speed-heavy test is smoothly made by every person before you last year. So you will also do it. So don't get too excited or tense about that. I gave my order. I would go with language, reasoning, and then maths. That would be my order, simply. I love reading RCs the first thing in the test. I mean, I more so might be because I'm conditioned for CAT that way. Okay. And reasoning is generally not the best section for most of us. So even from that perspective, I think might not be a good start in terms of reasoning. What are the grace marks? There's no grace mark in the sun. What? Everybody gets 12 in each section without attempting any question. That's the grace. That's called the grace rather. तो जो रॉ स्कोर वाला फंडा है वो बेसिकली वही है कि आप x 3x आपको समझ x क्वेश्चंस करेक्ट हुआ तो योर नेट स्कोर विल बी 3x + 36. दैट्स बेसिक आइडिया. अदरवाइज आप देखो 232 234 का अगर हम स्कोर बोल रहे हैं वी आर टॉकिंग ऑफ ऑलमोस्ट 78 right questions. That's a tall order. 78 right questions is a tall order. I have been talking about this Snap. Similar session on Snap is tomorrow. Same time tomorrow on the same forum. So attend that, please. Okay. Baki sab center vagas funda sab mein don't forget to carry your official the IDs of and don't. There are 2 things in NMAT I think you need: the admit card and also you need to carry the printout of the confirmation mail, the appointment mail जो आया था आपको confirmation. I remember last time I didn't carry it with me, so they really made me download from my mobile, and there was some time wasted in it. So carry a printout of the email, carry a printout of the admit card, take your official original ID proof. Baki everything else they will provide to you, don't worry. My has not the first slot there, dear. No, no, no. Don't assume it's an adaptive test. It looks like one, but it is not one. My center was horrible. I took it in Madhyam Gram ion zone. One of the worst center that I've taken. मैं शायद 26-27 बार CAT दे चुका हूँ. But this was one of the worst experiences. But yes, in terms of the good feel factor, it was nice. So felt nice after the test. So any more questions, guys? Otherwise, see you tomorrow, similar time, 9:30 for Snap. And good night. What is the penalty for missing out on questions? Sorry, I couldn't get that question. You can't miss out on a question in NMAT. You have to attempt everything. Where is the question of missing out? I think earlier there was the concept of 2 IDs. I don't think now you have a concept of 2 IDs. I think single ID is good enough. पहले वो एक photo ID और signature ID होता था, but this time I think there is not such. I think you just need to carry one of them. Is it mentioned 2 IDs in the admit card, guys? No, nothing else to carry. नहीं, but admit card में क्या 2 ID के बारे में लिखा है क्या? Anybody who has the admit card in front of you, can you just go through it once and confirm? जहां तक मेरे याद आ रहा है एक ही ID है. Yes, just carry one. Aadhaar is good enough. Passport, Aadhaar, DL, anything. The test will stop if you have time is over and you have not read 3-4 questions. It will get over. आप skip नहीं कर सकते हैं. सिस्टम तो बंद हो जाएगा ना when the time is over. तो जो unattempted question automatically वो गया आपका. And you don't want that to happen. You at least want to read the last question. No, there is no penalty. There is no penalty of leaving out questions left unread at the end. But that's a official penalty nahi hai, but it's a massive penalty because you have not even encountered a few questions that cannot be done or should never be done. So 2 doubts I will get back to you tomorrow morning in your Telegram group. One is the calculator wala funda, and 2 is are the CL marks giving you those 36 extra marks or not in the evaluation. So ये 2 चीज मैं आपको कल सुबह बताऊंगा. Chalo then guys, good night, bye bye, thank you. We'll close it here.